What's up, you guys? Welcome to the live stream. I just wanted to come on and announce that I'm getting loose skin surgery. No, I'm just kidding. I saw what, who was it? Who said it? Who asked? Matthew. I saw that Matthew said he was guessing that I was getting loose skin surgery. I'm not. I was just joking. Also, shout out to Raining for donating $5 before I even started. That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so the updates that I kind of wanted to tell you guys about that I'm super excited, and this is something that I really have been like super excited about. So I just started memberships on the channel. I honestly don't really exactly know how they work. I know hopefully there's like a join button under the screen that you can see right now. I don't really know. I don't really know how it works, but let's read this super chat. So it said, I just wanted to let you know you inspired me to lose weight. Today is my 2-month weigh-in. I'm down 49 pounds. I started at 462 pounds. I am now 411. Congratulations. Everyone give him a hand, or her. All right, so as far as the memberships go, there's 3 different levels. There's Mini Chungus, there's Chungus, and there's Big Chungus. So anyone that signs up for any of them, starting at Mini, you will get a special live stream 2 times a month that will just be for you guys. So it will just be a few of us hanging out, right? Oh, there we go. So we got, all right, awesome. So I wanted to make sure that it worked. So also, if you sign up for a membership, as you guys can see from Roharo 2, you get some of the special emotes that I made for the I got some special emotes made for the live stream. So we have a Big Chungus emote. We have my face doing the thumbnail face, like that face. We have let's get this bread. Look how buff I am, and we also have calorie deficit because you guys know that that your boy likes to calorie deficit. It's where it's at. John, any twerking today? Well, it depends on how much the super chats are today. But I wanted to announce I really wanted to announce the memberships because I put a lot of work into it. Hey, shout out to Isaac, Mini Chungus. Awesome. So I'm glad that it works, and it's cool that it kind of pops up there while I'm live streaming. Again, this is all stuff that I'm learning in the moment. I had no idea if it would pop up on stream or not. And so cool. Oh, it's so fun. All right, cool. The other thing that I wanted to say is there will be a standard video on the channel. I'm going to release it basically after the live stream is done because I know a lot of people have been asking me thanks, Isaac. A lot of people have been asking me for like they wanted me to basically react to the whole situation with Abby Sharp making a video about Greg Doucette. So I basically made a video all about that. So I filmed that earlier, I edited it, and it's just it's ready to go. So I'm going to press upload once I am done with the live stream. Hey, thanks Hildy for another Mini Chungus. Let's go. This is fun, man. Oh, another one. Let's go. Okay, sorry. I'm going to get so distracted by this. Okay, so I asked you guys, I think the way that I want to start this is I asked you guys on my Discord. Again, shout out to everyone that's on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord yet, make sure you get on there. All right? Get on the Discord, hang out. It's a great community. Seriously, it's dope. But I asked you guys to send me some videos. Thanks, Caitlin. I asked you guys to send me some videos for me to like react to and stuff like that. But before we get into that, I actually had someone send me something on Instagram So I think I'm going to go find that because it looked pretty interesting. I haven't watched the video yet. Thanks, Patrick. Hey, we got 5 new members today already. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's go. You guys get the special emotes too. I'm probably going to get more made once we get more members. You have to wait. To get more emotes, you have to wait until you can get, like, you have a certain amount of members, I think is how it works on YouTube. But I want to react to this video. So, copy. I'm going to paste it in my notes app and then we'll watch it together. Hey, thanks, Yasmin. Let's go. Okay. So let me make sure this works. Okay, so it's going to the link. So let's go to the good old Linkaroni and let's watch this video together, you guys. All right. So go here. Let's see. All right. Again, I have not watched this video at all, okay? I haven't watched this video. It's cool seeing the different colors of people's, like, little, like, member things. Man, this is fun. I'm really glad that I started live streaming. Hopefully this works and you guys can hear it. So, let's see. Let's just do a test. Well, I can't hear that. Dang it! Maybe I'll just have to unplug it. Alright, let me know if you guys can hear this.
This is quite a controversial subject. We're very interested.
Tell me if you guys can hear that. Let me know. Abby and Greg are 2 people that are on YouTube. It's echoing. Yeah, so that's the thing that I'm having for some reason I think I have to go there's an echo. Hear it breaking out like an echo. All right. 1 second. Let me see if I can well, I'm not playing anything now. My friend sent me like a cheat sheet to make sure this like works correctly. So I'm gonna check it to make sure everything is all good. Maybe no headphones. Okay, let's see. 1 second, you guys. Sorry. Dun. 1 second. We'll figure this out. I promise. We will figure it out. Together. Live. As always. Because that's what we do here. Hey, thanks, Tanya. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. Gotta figure this out. Where's Michael when you need him? I know, seriously, right? Hey, thanks, Rachel. Okay, so we go here. Oh, what's up, guys? Thank you. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Mandy. Jeez, okay, I'm sorry. How do I... There's so much stuff that I don't know how to do yet. I apologize, you guys. I apologize. I'm trying. He even gave me a cheat sheet and I don't know how to use it. Dang it! I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to open that. Wait, where did it go? What's going on here? Welcome to technical difficulties with John God. Yeah, that's how we do it. We figure things out on the fly here, you know? Well, it's supposed to work. So it's like sometimes it works and then sometimes it doesn't work, and I don't understand why.
To know what you
So you guys
think.
Can't hear
the conversation
right now,
that needs to be had.
can't hear anything
we
other
do
than my
warn you
voice,
that you may
correct?
be offended.
I don't see the join button. It should be like literally right under the video. Unless I'm... We can hear! I figured it out! Sweet! Heck yeah, dude. What's up? I know what's up. I know how to fix things. Come on, I don't need anyone. I'm an independent man. I don't need no woman. Okay. Great. Now we can get going with the live stream. Perfect. I'm so smart and talented at this, and I know exactly what I'm doing. It definitely wasn't just the wasn't luck or anything. Okay, cool. So the title of this video, again, I haven't seen it, so I honestly don't know what to expect yet. It's called "Woman Who Won't Work with Fat People Shares Her Controversial Views." And so, you know what? Hopefully this video does not get turned off because it's from a TV show. Because we got in trouble from last time, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. If the stream shuts off, it's because the man came and shut me down. All right, here we go. Let's see what this is all about.
Now, this is quite a controversial subject. We're very interested to know what you think.
But maybe it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Possibly.
We do warn you that you may be offended by this, particularly if you are overweight.
Or it might
I am ready to be offended. Also, I might be cutting this off frequently because I don't want them to cut the stream off, okay?
be something that some people think but are too afraid to say. The lady we're talking to isn't. Imagine you're applying for a job and you're refused the position because of your weight. Well, that's what our guest thinks needs to happen in order to get the country in shape. There she is. That's Samantha Yardley.
Well,
she's a fitness writer.
She is.
I love, look at her face. Like, she is just, like, just this part right here that I see, right? I feel like she is just ready to troll. Like, that's what I see right now. I don't know exactly if that's what's going to happen, but it looks like she is ready to just be the biggest troll imaginable.
And in a recent blog, she said that she believes life should be made as difficult as possible for people who are obese. And you're saying that, Samantha, because you're saying that it should be made difficult because they've got to lose weight, and that's the reality. You're just trying to force them into that mindset. Now, even though
Well, thanks Jess for the mini chungus. Yeah, we got 11 new members already. She's a Karen. Yeah, maybe that could be that could be what she is. I think that the thing is, okay, so I can understand where the mindset would be. It's like the tough love mindset. It's like, okay, if we make people feel like it's not okay to be fat, right? Then they'll be shamed into losing weight. And I think that there is a small percentage of people that has worked right. Whenever I talk about like how I am not the biggest fan of like shaming someone into losing weight or like tough love, there's almost always comments in that video or in that post where people are like, well, XYZ happened to me and they shamed me for being overweight and that helped me lose weight. So I do think that there is a small percentage of people that it works for, but I would say for the majority of people, it's probably not going to help.
So when I'll say this, and I'll preempt this whole conversation we're going to have here, that there will be a lot of people mortally offended by this, and there'll be people who will be hurt as well. But is this sort of medicine that you think you have got to dispense and has to be swallowed?
That's correct. Yeah. I think if you're obese, you literally knock at least 8 years off your life, and that's considered conservative. And I think
thanks, Let It Roll, for joining.
We're all creatures of habit. We all take the path of least resistance. We need to just make it more inconvenient to be obese.
Okay.
So I would say, as far as like what she's said so far, I don't think, the thing is, I don't think we need to make it more inconvenient. I would say it's already pretty inconvenient if you're really, really overweight, like trying to fit into on like a airplane seat, right? Trying to sit on like if you're going to an amusement park, a lot of seats, like trying to fit into a booth. I would say it's already pretty inconvenient. Being like really, really large. So I'm kind of curious as to see what she is going to say of like how she wants to make it more inconvenient for people.
Could I just say, you know, you're a fitness writer, and you obviously keep very fit and whatever.
I try to.
but maybe other people try to, or maybe they just can't. Maybe they just are not Samantha Yardley. They haven't got the mindset. They haven't got the means, they just haven't got the motivation. Maybe they've got an illness.
Yeah, it's underlying health.
Yeah, and they just can't be you.
I don't think you necessarily have to have, like six-pack abs or work out every single day. It's a lifestyle choice. You need to just eat a little bit less, move a little bit more.
So again, everything she's saying so far, I mean, I don't really disagree with yet.
It's just a calorie deficit that you need to implement, and eventually that's going to create like a physical change.
But for a lot of people, Samantha, that it is a mental health issue. Some people find that very, very difficult. So where would you stand do you make that instant decision if you were wanted to employ somebody, when somebody walked into that interview and you consider them to be overweight? Do you make that decision instantly before you've even talked to them?
I think we all do to an extent. I think we're all judged a little bit on how we look.
I like that she didn't answer it, but she did answer it. She was like, I think we all do that. But I would say that's definitely a pretty standard thing. I was actually talking with my girlfriend about this a few days ago. And it's interesting because there are definitely jobs where if you are really large and you can't really move, and like you can't move well or you can't be on your feet for a long period of time, they might not hire you because of that. And like, is that fat shaming or is that fat phobic? I personally wouldn't say that it is. Like, I think like genuinely, like if your job, like my girlfriend works with people that need help moving around, right? And if you are so large that you can't stand up for a certain period of time, or that's too much work for you, then your size is restricting you from being able to do that job. So I don't think it's wrong for the company or for the person to be like, hey, we can't hire you because you're not fit enough to do the job, right? Just like if any jobs that have in the resume, like most like fast food places and stuff in the resume, it says you have to be able to lift 50 pounds. And if you genuinely can't do that, is it wrong to be like, well, you can't work here, right?
And I think I certainly wouldn't judge someone for being a little overweight. I've certainly been a little overweight myself. But I think if someone who was extremely obese, I would probably make the assumption that they, like you say, perhaps were lacking in self-esteem. Maybe they had the wrong lifestyles, they overate. I would say that there was an underlying problem.
Oh no. We have an ad.
Live TV from 85 plus channels with local sports and news. YouTube TV.
Don't mind me, just too poor to afford YouTube, the expensive YouTube. All right.
Why would that make them unemployable, in your opinion?
I mean, I think if you look at the facts, people who are obese, they take off nearly twice as many days off than those people within a healthy weight range for a start. That's going to have a financial implication. And also, I think from personal experience, having been larger, you are more lethargic and you're more lazy.
So, I mean, it's funny because, like, some of the stuff makes sense. Like, as far as, I mean, I don't, like, I would say if you're looking at the big statistics of, oh, there's people that are, if you look at the stats of people that are obese, yes, they do take more time off work. But it's interesting to, like, look at it would be hard. I don't even know exactly what her job is. I don't think they've said it. I know that she is obviously, she's a fitness someone, but I don't know exactly like who she would be hiring and what she would be hiring them for. So I think that's a big part, is like, what are they going to be doing, right? And I think that's something that I am not really sure what it is yet.
Which I think lazy, Samantha, is the word
lazy might be a bit strong.
Yeah, well, you've said it now, but I think that word will offend a lot of people. Why do you decide or believe that people who are overweight are lazy?
I think for a fact that someone who's obese, they're not going to be out running every morning.
They could be, though, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I would say, if we're talking about the vast majority of people that are really, really large, yes, obviously they're probably not going to be out running every day or like working out, but like, you don't know where someone is on their journey, and you don't know where they are, what they're trying to do. So I think that it's kind of, it's a person by person basis, and so it's hard to really, talk about everyone.
I mean, like I said, from personal experience, I know that you are more lethargic. You don't have the energy that you have when you're a healthy weight range. That is just a fact. There's so many studies into how productive people can be at certain weight ranges. And when you get to the obese stage, you are lacking in productivity. Like, there's so many studies on that.
You talked about, weight ranges there.
So this is something that's kind of related, but kind of not. So one thing that I don't like, and you guys will have probably noticed, I don't talk about studies that much in my videos and when I talk about stuff like this. One, because I'm not going to lie and sit here and say I read them, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say, there's so many studies about this thing. And it's like, well, what studies? What exactly are you talking about? And I think that's important. I understand this is like a news segment, but like, I don't like when people just say, yeah, there's studies, because like, technically there's studies about everything that could probably make any point valid, right? And so, I don't know. That's just one of my things.
And size ranges. So you look like you're very slim. What size in a, say, dress size would you be?
I mean, I've got a bit of a lockdown belly at the moment. I'll be the first to admit I'm probably a size 10.
Okay, so you're a size 10. What then in that weight and size?
She really, she really had to say I have a lockdown belly, so I'm a size 10. Fitness people,
would you consider to be overweight and somebody that you would consider to be lazy? What size would you go up to?
Hey, Fit Fatty. I like the name. Fat runner and plant-based athlete here. I think this woman doesn't think enough. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I think, well, okay, so what I think, as far as from what I've seen so far, this is someone that is, it's obvious that she knows that if she makes these statements, she's going to, get on these news channels and stuff like that. And so it is working for her so far, so.
that you think is acceptable, and over that it's not?
Yeah. I mean, I know that this is going to get me into trouble, and I'm sorry in advance. I would say.
What do you guys think she's going to say? What do you think she's going to say that gets her in trouble? Also, thanks to Bronwyn for being part of the Mini Chungus game. Her pretty light keeps turning on. I know, it's kind of funny. She keeps trying to turn it on. What do you think she's going to say that's going to get her canceled? I'm curious what you guys think. If anyone has a guess. Again, she just likes being controversial. Yeah, 100%. What is the Mini Chungus thing? That is the new membership on the channel. There's 3 different levels. There's Mini Chungus, Chungus, and Big Chungus. She will probably go BMI. Okay. She's probably going to say a certain size. She's going to say anything overweight. Okay, let's see what she says.
Say maybe arguably a 6 is a bit too small perhaps, but like 6 to say 16. I think when you reach sort of 18, you know, you need to be making some lifestyle changes.
So
Okay,
anything
well,
over, over 60, anything over a size 16,
It's
you think
generalising,
is
and I
overweight?
know there's going to be anomalies that get me into trouble, but yes.
But
Like, why would you even say that, though? Like, that's the thing. For me, it's like, if you know that... Like, that would be... It's almost similar to the whole BMI thing, right? Like, if you're BMI... Like, technically, my BMI is 30-something, right? So I'm technically obese if you just look at BMI. And so I think it's just so silly if people try and quantify, oh, you shouldn't be this size, you shouldn't be this BMI, by some random number like a 16 or like like it depends on how short you are, how wide you are, how this, how that. Like, I don't know. I just think that's super silly. Honestly, I don't even know what size that is because I don't know anything about women's sizes, but I don't know. It's just silly to me.
But Samantha, it's going to get you into trouble.
Hey, thanks to Nightingale Aura. Yes, just because there are studies doesn't mean they are well-conducted studies or that they weren't biased. We would need to know more. Yes, I agree. Smart person right there.
Because we now live in an age, I know you're trying to say there is a health message here, but we live in an age where body shaming, whether you're too thin or whether you're too big, is just regarded as not acceptable. And you've basically said to us today, and let's just get it clear, that you would choose a thinner person over a fatter person every time for
Her
a,
light
for
turned
a
off
job.
again.
And you go further than that because you say that whether we all admit it or not, most of us think like that as well. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's certain subconscious processes that we all make before we actually speak to someone. And I'm not trying to encourage people to like judge people on physical sort of
Is it just her thing? Yeah, I think it's just her
the way that we
camera
look.
shut off.
But I do think that.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
You're
You
back,
just
you're back,
froze. You
you're
just
back,
froze for a
you're back.
second, Samantha. Carry on.
Sorry. Yeah, so I just think that
Okay, if by BMI John doesn't get hired, yeah, I'm not getting the job, guys. I'm sorry.
there are certain things that we do have the ability to change that we should be taking responsibility for. And obviously, weight is one of them. Just make a lifestyle change, take responsibility.
What about just people?
I'm still trying to understand what this means, right? So, woman who won't work with fat people shares her controversial views. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, there's still about half of the video left. But they haven't said why she... Like, I don't understand why it's saying, like, she won't work with fat people. Because, like, is she hiring these people? Is it, like, if a fat person gets hired, she'll quit or something? Like, they haven't expanded on that.
In life, I'm reading here that you said you don't even think clothes in extra large sizes should be readily available. They should be more inconvenient to find. And you don't agree that people should be allowed to buy 2 seats on an aeroplane if they're overweight to make themselves more comfortable.
Ah!
Live
I don't know what that is. There's a weird ad coming on. Oh my goodness, so strange. You know, just hanging out. I don't know. Some weird thing we started playing and... Okay.
I think they should be able to buy more seats to be more comfortable, of course. But I think that there shouldn't be a financial implication for people who are in a healthy weight range. It's making everyone else's plane tickets more expensive.
Yeah. I think life must be difficult enough for people who are big without not having a choice in shops. I mean, that seems to be incredibly cruel.
Yeah, I think that was one thing. So one thing about when I was at my biggest, or not even at my biggest, but when I was pretty big, I remember it was unbelievably hard to find clothes just for that, right? And so the fact that she's saying we should make it harder for people that are already like struggling to find clothes, make it harder for them to find, that just seems cruel to me, because it's already difficult enough. And so, like, I don't know. I think that that's just going too far. The whole seat thing, that one's hard, because I mean, I've flown on airplanes many, many times now, and those seats are just small in general, right? Like, even if you're a pretty small person, they're pretty small, right? And so, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about, like, is it wrong to have someone that is too large to fit in one, for someone that is too large to fit in one seat, is it wrong to make them buy two seats, right? Because, like, the only other option would either be they have to buy two seats, or they get a seat free, basically, to sit next to them. But then it's like, okay, is it fair to make the airline give them a free seat, basically, right? And so it's like, that's what I don't know. And I'm just kind of like, the whole airline thing is tough. I think if you can't fit into a seat, I don't think it's wrong for the airline to charge you for two seats. But I don't know. That's my opinion. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going.
And when you were talking about choosing a slimmer person over a bigger person for a job, I thought that may have been discriminatory. But we've spoken to our employment lawyer, Amanda Lenham, who was on the show yesterday, and she says within the UK there's no actual law.
Oh, thanks, Priscilla. So it says we should have programs given at no cost to help guide people through healthy weight loss instead of punishing people. I love you, John. I love you too. Thank you so much. That's actually quite an interesting point. So that's almost similar to, programs that we have here in America that are like, like Section 8, or basically like low income programs to help people get on their feet. I think that would be really interesting. I think where that would be tough is we would have to, because there's so many people have so many different beliefs, right, on how to lose weight and the best way to lose weight, and you should do this to lose weight. No, you should do this to lose weight. So it's like, I feel like that would become a huge argument. And then obviously whenever we talk about programs like that, it's going to be taxpayer funded. So then people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to just, like, that person got fat on their own, I'm not going to basically pay for this program for them to get into so they can lose weight. But at the same time, like, everyone that talks about this stuff always talks about how, people that are overweight or bigger put a bigger strain on the healthcare system. So if we could in turn think about using that money to maybe like be a what's the word that I'm looking for, to be a, not deterrent, but a way, like preventative, there we go. Jeez, I'm sorry. A preventative measure so people don't get so large that they're going to the hospital a lot and costing a lot of money as far as that for the healthcare system. And so I don't know. But that is a great point. And so thank you. I think it was Priscilla. Thanks, Priscilla, for bringing that up. I think that it's I think that's an interesting kind of topic for sure. Okay, let's keep going.
And this is just for the viewers at home to take this on board. There is actually no actual law prohibiting discrimination on weight, which surprises me. But if the weight is caused by a medical condition that falls within the Equality Act, then that could be a disability. discrimination. So just viewers, from us to you, just to highlight, that really surprises me that you can discriminate on weight.
Yeah.
So that's where I think, again, I think that it is possible to just be like, I don't want to hire this person, they're fat and I think they're gross, right? I'm sure that happens. But I think like what I was saying is, especially if we're talking about someone that is very, very large, like for me, when I was at my biggest, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of jobs, right? I physically wouldn't have been able to do it. So for an employer to look at me and be like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry, you can't do this job. Obviously it would have hurt and it would have sucked and I would have been like, dang, this is like kind of lame. But I would understand that it's like, I wouldn't be able to do the job anyways. Like the first job I ever had was working at a shoe store. It was Van Shoe Store, right? And I had to stand for like, usually it was only a 4-hour shift because they were like part-time hours. And even just standing for 4 hours, I was in so much pain. Like so much pain. And we even they had these ladders in the back where you like someone would ask for a shoe and we had these huge racks that you would like get a ladder and you'd have to climb the ladder and grab the shoe off the rack. The ladders were only rated for 250 pounds, and at the time I was at my heaviest when I worked there. So I was over 100 pounds over the recommended weight limit for the ladder. And one time I remember I actually fell off the ladder. Luckily I was only on like the second step, so I was fine. But I remember the manager of the store like looked back because he was sitting in the back room and he was like, oh snap, like, are you okay? Luckily I was fine, but yeah, that could have been that could have been very bad.
Yeah, I mean, you said, Samantha, you believe probably a lot of people do agree with you, they just don't want to say it. And do you think that that could be the case with employment, that there are employers who would make that discrimination, they just don't admit it, they just tell you haven't
Absolutely.
got the job?
Exactly, they just wouldn't. There is a big financial implication to taking on obese people. They literally take off twice as many days than people who are considered slimmer.
Okay, if you were in charge of the NHS then, or you were giving advice, if we had you as a fitness expert on our programme, what would you say to anyone who's overweight? They know they're overweight.
And they're struggling.
And they're struggling, and maybe they're massively overweight. What would you say to them, Samantha?
So this is a good chat right here. It says, I would teach the kids in school how to eat and basic cooking. In Switzerland, we have cooking classes. So that's one thing that I really do believe as far as in America, 100% I think we could do a better job teaching kids when they're younger. You guys hear me all the time saying like podcasts that I'm on and videos that I do that knowledge is power. And I think for so many kids, they don't have the knowledge. And I think that a lot of people, again, you can sit there and say, oh, well, it's the parents' fault. They should know more. And like, yes, my mom knew nothing about nutrition. She didn't know a single thing, right? But I don't think that, like, I think if we can teach more about health and wellness in school, like, why not, right? We're going to be there anyways. Why not teach more about that stuff? At least teach the basics of nutrition. Let kids understand what macronutrients are. Of course, you don't have to explain carbs, fats, and protein when a kid's 5 years old. But getting that in your head while you're young, I think could be super helpful. And I know from when, I'm 27 years old. I know from when I was at my, in school, I literally didn't know a single thing about nutrition at all and was never taught. So I think that could be a really helpful thing, at least to just get started for kids.
I think it's a difficult pill to swallow, but take responsibility and just start just eating a little bit less and moving a little bit more, and you will literally add years to your life. And if that's not enough of a motivation for yourself and from like a selfish perspective, think about the people around you. If you have children, those who love you, they want you around.
And Samantha, do you believe, I think a lot of bigger people may say, I may be big, but I'm healthy or I'm fit. Do you believe that's a non sequitur?
I believe that there are really fit people who are carrying a little bit more weight, absolutely. But I think if they were to lose weight and slim down, they could be exceptional.
it's funny. I don't know. Maybe there's something else that comes in this video. But as far as like what she said, she hasn't been that divisive. Like most of what she's saying is basically like it's not probably not a good idea to be super large. At least that's what I've heard so far.
Okay, Samantha Yardley, thank you very much indeed. Basically, thanks, Samantha.
Thank you, Samantha.
She's on and she's talking about she won't work with fat people or would hire a thinner person over a fatter person. You will have your say on this throughout the programme as well. It may be harsh. Is it true? Is it a fact of life, or should we just be much more tolerant overall?
I mean, some of your comments coming in already. Claire says, what a horrible lady. I'm overweight due to medical reasons, but my sick record is far better than a lot of my slimmer colleagues. So she's saying she hasn't taken a lot of time off work.
But I think Samantha's talking about generally if you can control, if it's within your remit to change your weight and your size. But I think it's very...
So all in all, I think it the title of the video was definitely a little misleading. Woman who won't work with fat people, because they never really talked about that. I think for the most part, everything that confused Mary. I like that that emote works perfectly for your name. As far as like everything that she said, it wasn't really that over the top. Like it was pretty. I would say it was pretty middle of the road, like just basically being like, hey, I just don't think that it's a good idea to be really overweight. I don't know. I was expecting that to be a lot worse. I kind of let's read some of the comments. Why not? All right, let me move this over there so you guys can actually read the comments. There we go. Oh man, really? The comments are turned off. Of course they are. Dang it. Well, the like to dislike ratio is pretty terrible. So it has 557 dislikes and only 338 likes. So I was really hoping to read the comments on that video. Oh well. What do you guys think of that? I'm kind of curious what you guys thought about that video. Fake news. Yeah, I only had a few nutrition class. When they have no comments, I click off. I know that's like half the fun of watching videos is when they have comments turned on. Pointless video. Yeah, that was kind of like, I mean, it's funny because if that was obviously I think it was a British TV show. If that was in America, I feel like people would have been yelling and stuff. And then obviously they don't do that as much at least it doesn't seem like it. I feel like in America we're always like yelling at each other. I agree with you. You should only be denied a job if you can't perform. I agree with that. I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think she said anything I've never heard before. The focus should be on making healthier food easier to get than shaming people into fad diets. Can someone use the emotes to look at them? I'm sure someone will throw some emotes up. Man, we got 13 new members already. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm very, very excited about that. Let's see. I want to see if there's any I want to see if there's anything in the Discord, any videos in the Discord that people want me to talk about. Hey, Ellen. Definitely biased here. Remember going for jobs at bars with a friend who was thin. I was more experienced 9 times out of 10. She got the call back. I didn't. Yeah, I think that, especially like that, like working in bars and stuff, I know that in America and stuff, a lot of like bar stuff, I don't drink or really go to bars, but I know that it's a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Surface level kind of industry. So it's all about how you look, right? Like, so I live in San Diego, and we like if you walk downtown at nighttime, they always have pretty girls in front of not even just bars, but like restaurants, like handing out their menu, trying to get you to come in. And so I can imagine that scene is very, it's all about your looks, you know? So I can see how that would be. Hello, John. Why do you have to go live right now? Because why not? Javier, I've been overweight and worked more OT than a smaller person. A lot more, actually, but she didn't seem that rude about it. It's discrimination. What if it was a black person instead of an overweight person? Kind of same. Black Lives Matter. I think that it's a little bit different. Like, I do think that it's wrong, like, especially if the person can still complete the job. But if it's like if they genuinely cannot complete the job because of their size, I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, you won't be able to do this because of your size, right? Like, obviously I'm talking about someone that's like super overweight, like, you know, 200 pounds overweight, to where it's like it's like a struggle for them to walk and stuff like that, right? So I don't think that it's wrong to do that. I would say it is much more wrong to discriminate on someone because of their skin color, because skin color really is, obviously, it's something that you can't change, and that doesn't, like, just the color of your skin isn't going to change how well you're able to do a job, right? Like, it's just not. But I would say your mobility and your weight, like, causing you to not be able to do certain things, I think that will affect how mobile you can be, and in turn how you're able to actually complete a task or complete a job. As a black person, I can't change my skin. As an overweight person, I can change my weight. Unconscious bias probably prevents overweight people from being hired a lot of the times. Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement right there. Like, the fact that people, because I know that when I was bigger, people would see me and they would just unconsciously think that person's lazy, right? And I would say that that's a pretty normal, thing that happens for, like, a lot of people kind of have those thoughts. And so I would say that, yeah, that's probably pretty true. Hey, Sean, I've seen you say that you've missed my vlogs about 14 times, all right? I get it. I don't feel like making vlogs, though, so I'm sorry about that. However, an employer may decide you can't based on their view of disability. It could make the same amount of sense for the employer not to want to hire someone overweight if the employer has to provide some level of health insurance. It's very hard to change your weight long term and do it healthily. I would say that it is, I mean, it's hard, but it's not impossible. There's a level of fitness every job requires. If someone is able to perform at the required fitness level, then it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I agree. I don't think, like, I think if you're able to complete the job, you should be able to do it. All right, let me see if there's any videos in the Discord. All right, let's see. Let's go to this one. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, make sure you go ahead and do that. Discord. All right. Sorry if it's loud. I apologize. Okay.
Oh, Steve-O!
Here we go. All right, 1 second. Alrighty. So this is from, again, I've never seen this video. So this is from a YouTuber. Hey, Ashley, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. All right. Let me turn this down. So this is from a YouTuber called Sydney Watson. And the name of the video is Skinny Girl Reacts to Thin Privilege. How is this a thing? So let's see how it goes. Hello, fellow Chungus. Okay. Let's see how this is. Oh, I forgot to turn the volume up. All right.
In a simulation. This is real life. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to my channel, where
Sydney.
today we will be discussing the topic of thin privilege. Proudly
privilege.
brought to you by BuzzFeed's less well-known cousin, but no less awful, BBC Sesh. I posted an article about this exact topic about a month ago, thinking that it was just something that overweight feminists scream about because what don't they scream about? But apparently, it's actually a thing. And obviously, having thin privilege myself, I'm obviously very well equipped to discuss this topic. So let's jump in. Before I actually show you guys this video, I just want to qualify what thin privilege apparently is, although I'm sure you can guess. The thin in thin privilege is not about being supermodel skinny, but being at a weight that means you are not subjected to judgment and harassment.
Oh, Catherine says she hates Sydney Watson. Why do you hate Sydney Watson? I've never seen any of her videos before.
From strangers. It means that you can go into almost any clothes store and find something that will fit. You can eat a hamburger in public without people clearly judging your decision. You can wear something figure-hugging without people sniggering at you. What even is going on? I guess that's just a few examples of what it's like to be healthy. With that in mind, let's roll the video.
Thin privilege. Now, it's not a mythical creature or something made up.
To be fair though, I would say that this term is actually entirely made up. It's not too dissimilar to things like white privilege and male privilege.
Ah, okay, I found out why people don't like her now. I would say that some of these people are, I think that to a certain extent, I don't want to call it thin privilege, but there are advantages of being not super overweight, right? Obviously, like being able to fit into a regular sized airplane seat without a seatbelt extender, being able to fit into a amusement park, like being able to fit into a booth at a thing, or like, yeah, being able to eat without people looking at you. I wouldn't call that like thin privilege though. I would just say that it just, I don't know. Or even if you did call it thin privilege, is that really a bad thing, or is that just the fact of not being super overweight?
Which are also made up. But continue, my friend. Dazzle me.
You're thin, you have a certain privilege. So everyday tasks that a thinner person can take for granted. I can leave a plus size person like myself feel full of
I was willing to listen to her argument, but she sounds possibly racist. Yeah, she might be a racist, you guys. I'm sorry.
anxiety, burden and upset and feelings that they don't belong and don't deserve a place in here.
So firstly, I would not describe this girl as plus size. I think that has become this term that people like to employ when it actually doesn't apply to them. She, at least in my opinion, is overweight.
With all the pictures and the interview, do you, as the editor of Cosmo, even infer that this may...
I think it's so silly to try and argue, oh, this is overweight and this is plus size. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't see a point in it. I think that it's silly. Like when in the Health at Every Size movement, there is, hey, Kim, welcome to the Chungus gang. It is silly to, like when, sorry, that's what I was saying. At the Health at Every Size movement, there's like small fat, regular fat, mid fat, infinifat, all these different like levels. And I don't know. I just think that it's silly to kind of try and differentiate them.
not be a good way
I love all the Chunguses in chat, guys. Keep them coming.
to be, that this actually might be morbid obesity. And in Britain right now, we have the worst incidence of obesity in Europe by miles. We are a fat and ever fattening country. And here are you as an editor of a very popular magazine telling women it's fine to be 300 pounds. I don't get it.
I genuinely hate how people employ the terms curvy and thick and plus size to girls who are genuinely overweight.
Who cares? Like, why does it matter? Like, I don't know. Maybe you guys might disagree with me on this, but like when people get mad that someone that's obese is saying that I'm curvy or I'm this, I don't know. I think it's silly to be like, no, you are morbidly obese. Like, who cares? Right? Like, for me, I don't care. Like, my thing, and I mean, I even talked about Tess Holliday with all of this stuff was going on. I've made videos about her, and my issue is never, I don't care. Like, I don't think that it's glorifying obesity by just someone living and being obese. I don't think that's glorifying obesity. My problem, and it always has been, is when we talk about health at every size and saying that it's healthy to be this size. That's where my issue is. So it's like I don't see why people make such a big deal. It's like, oh, that's not curvy, that's morbidly obese. It's like, really? Like, you think that Tess Holiday's gonna go out and be like, yeah, I'm a morbidly obese model and that's what I do? Like, no, come on, man.
If you just go and look at companies' websites and Instagram pages like Fashion Nova and other similar brands, they like to use girls who are genuinely overweight and then describe them as curvy. It drives me absolutely mad.
I've lost 12 stone 4 pounds. You should be encouraged to come out and be sporty and get moving. I get what you're trying to do, but the mental health thing is, where you would not put somebody on the front with a bottle of vodka, an alcoholic, or somebody with drugs, embracing drugs.
Not the same.
It is.
Let me just say from the outset, there are women on this planet who have really beautiful body types who are curvy or thick, as the term goes. But these are women...
Bro, what are you talking... Really? You're saying... Okay. You're saying that that's what you're gonna call curvy? Are you kidding me? Sorry, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Who still eat well, they still look after their bodies, they go to the gym. It just so happens that they might have a bigger butt or bigger thighs or an actual chest on them, which some of us can't relate to. Because I am a beanpole with eyes and hair. Can't relate. Calling yourself plus size might make yourself feel better in the long run, but really what this video is trying to say is being overweight in particular situations makes me feel bad about myself because I'm overweight.
So, public transport, what a nightmare for plus size people. Just think, can you sit in a seat and not be met with sighs, huffing, puffing, and someone squirming in the seat next to you, making you feel uncomfortable, and knowing that they don't want you there?
I mean, to be fair, there are lots of people who other people don't want on public transport, like drug addicts and crazy people. The reason, at least I believe, that people react like that on public transport to someone who is overweight is because you take up extra room.
So with this, I think that this comes down to, personally, that's exactly, see that emote right there? That's exactly why I wanted to use it, because I wanted people to be like, what are you talking about? I think, like, so what that girl was experiencing and what she was explaining, I would say personally that I think it's more what the person is feeling internally, right? Like, you feel like you're big and you're taking up extra room, so then in turn you start thinking all of these people are looking at me. Like, I remember when I was bigger and I would walk into a room, and if people were laughing, I was always thinking they're laughing at me, they're laughing at the fact that I'm so large. Like, I remember I would always think that, and in reality that probably wasn't the case. Maybe it was, but I think a lot of it was me internalizing a lot of stuff and feeling like these people probably think this, so anytime someone even looks at me, I'm thinking they're like, oh, that fat person, how disgusting. When in reality, it probably wasn't as bad as that. Like, if you think about people that, like, when you go to the gym and stuff, a lot of people are like, I'm intimidated, I feel like everyone's looking at me. And, like, I can say at the gym, for the most part, no one is really focused on anyone other than themselves. But yeah, let's keep going.
I want to lose 3 pounds.
And I would say that your average passenger is probably resentful of that. In the same way that they're resentful of the idiot sitting at the back of the carriage playing music from their phone without headphones in, or the person who is talking really, really loudly on their phone. Stop that. Especially on super crowded trains and trams and buses, it's pretty understandable how someone might get bent out of shape because you're encroaching upon their space.
I don't know. Like, for me, I've never seen someone, like, even if it's on a plane, right, where I have to be really close to them, like, I've never seen someone that was bigger and thought to myself, wow, that person is going to make my experience worse. Like, that has never been a thing in my head that I felt. I don't know. I've literally never had that thought before.
To be clear here, I am not talking about the super sweet, self-aware, overweight people. Those are not the people I'm referring to here.
Shopping, can you go?
What even, then who are you talking about? What is that? What is that even? The super sweet, self-aware people? So what, like, the people that are overweight that are, like, sitting like this, like trying not to take up any room, and, like, are like, oh, please don't, I'm sorry. Like, come on, man. What are you even talking about? It's so stupid.
to 99.9% of the high street and shop, try on and take an outfit away that very same day and not actually being able to go and enjoy the experience of shopping.
Girl, do you know what it's like to be 5'11" and skinny? Well, obviously no, but you know, if you did, then you would know that I have
Welcome, English Bacon. Thank you for joining, bro. Appreciate it.
the same struggles as you do.
This goes on your skin tone.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I would say that a lot of people want to complain about, not being able to fit into certain, clothing options and stuff like that. But for me personally, I struggle with fitting into a lot of clothes, like a lot of jeans and stuff like that, because I got these freaking massive thighs. Look at these bad boys. They're beautiful. It makes it so it's hard to fit into a lot of clothes. So I don't know. But again, I do know that people struggle with when you are overweight. Like for me, trying to find size 5XL shirts was hard for sure. Amanda says, when women who are overweight call themselves curvy, as a woman who is not overweight but muscular and curvy, I don't know how to identify myself. Identify yourself as a freaking beast, bro. Boom.
Somebody throw Shamu back in the ocean!
Did anyone watch... Whenever I see her, I think of Dexter. Did anyone watch Dexter? That was my favorite show when I was like... I remember when Netflix first came out and you had to order the discs. I would order all of the Dexter discs. And, yeah, I remember doing that quite frequently. Dexter was a good show, except for the last season. No spoilers. Okay.
Okay. Let me get you something else.
I'm just not really seeing the
I identify as a lumpy space princess. Well, that's great. I'm very happy for you.
thin privilege in any of this because basically every woman.
Yeah, she was. That's funny. So Crystal says, yep, she was married to the guy who played Dexter. I think that's crazy. That like she played in Dexter. She played Dexter's, the main character's sister, but they were actually married in real life. It's so weird.
I know who goes shopping, hates shopping, because they can't find anything that fits them. This is not a skinny or overweight thing. This is the clothing industry doesn't make clothes for human beings thing. Can I find pants that don't smash me in the ankle? No. Can I find dresses that don't fly up and show everyone my butt when I walk places? No. This may come as a shock to you, my friend, but you're not special. This is not a thin privilege thing. Let me just make that abundantly clear to you as a skinny person. It's very, very, very hard to find clothes. The end. I know this from experience because when I was doing my undergraduate degree, because I didn't want to be poor, I worked in fashion retail. And let me tell you now, for a fact, 90% of women would walk out of the fitting room feeling depressed no matter what body shape they had.
Now, I can't, obviously, I'm not going to speak for other women, but I would say it's a little disingenuous to not say, it's a little disingenuous to say it's just as hard for me to find clothes as it is for you. Or like this girl right here, she strikes me as someone that if she were to complain, if like someone were to complain about something and then someone else were like, well, what about me? She'd be like, oh, why are you always talking about you? Why are you always talking about you? You know what I mean? And that's exactly what she's doing right here. It's like, oh, it's hard for you, but it's also hard for me. It's just like, that's not what, I don't know.
Because clothing shopping is depressing.
Squeeze those cheeks, sister.
But even so, if you do want a few more options when you go clothes shopping, there is a fairly simple solution to that problem that comes in the form of losing weight.
Grabbing something to eat, just think, can you pop into a bakery, pick up a donut and sit there and then enjoy it and not feel that you've been met with stares or comment?
Okay, so I mean, this girl seems nice enough, but it's like she's complaining about not being able to do a thing while she's doing the thing on screen. Like, she has like the biggest donut I've ever seen in my life. Like, I would say if I were to be standing there and had a huge donut in my hand and I was eating it, I'd probably have people looking at me too, you know? I don't know. That's just my opinion though.
And sit there and then enjoy it and not feel that you've been met with stares or comment. I cannot do that.
Maybe we actually are in a simulation. That donut is excessive, and maybe that's the problem. Good lord. I would say that the bulk of people probably don't notice when someone else is like smashing down a burger or some sort of tasty, delicious treat.
Again, like, that's exactly what I was saying before, though. Like, in that girl has absolutely internalized the fact that she obviously feels some type of shame, or she is a little bit like upset that she is the size that she is. Thanks Beyond 100 for becoming a member. Appreciate it. But I think she feels a certain amount of shame because of her size. And so she is projecting the fact that if anyone looks at her while eating that donut, they're looking at her because she is a fat girl eating a donut. When in reality, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's, I mean, it could be that, who knows, right? But I would say it's probably just people looking at how huge that donut was, because I would be like, whoa, that's a huge donut. And it looked like a very tasty, delightful treat, right?
Because the bulk of people don't actually care about what you're doing in public. But it's not the fault of thin privilege that people might sit there and stare or make comments when you're sitting there chowing down on something that is probably the definition of cholesterol in a circle shape. In the event that someone is actually giving you a dirty look because you're shoveling a donut into your mouth, it's more than likely because they're looking at you thinking, eating that kind of food is why that person is overweight.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's why someone would, I don't know, maybe, again, like, there are probably some people out there that are like, they look at a person that's big and they're like, oh, that's why they're this, that's why that, but I don't know. I would think that they're just looking at the donut and they're thinking that's a huge donut. I don't know.
No one's gonna sit there and look at you if you're eating a banana or like celery sticks and hummus or whatever.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that it's not the fact that you are big, it's the fact that it's a huge donut. It's not, you know what I mean? That I don't know if I'm getting the point across. Also, great freeze frame right here. Thanks for joining, Crystal. I appreciate it.
You sure can't put it away.
Besides the handful of people who gain weight as...
Julia says, man, no one ever commented on something you ate. It didn't happen very often. I think it was, I mean, personally, I think I had people that were just like very supportive of me, and like the fact, like they tried to be kind and never tried to be mean. But I would say I really don't think, like genuinely don't think I can think of a time where a complete stranger like walked up to me as I was eating and said, hey, you shouldn't be eating that. Like, I don't think I ever dealt with that. Ever. Now, I will say, I talked about this on my channel a long time ago, where I was, the title of the video is like the worst diet advice I ever got, or something like that, was, I was at Best Buy, like literally just at Best Buy, looking at, I don't remember what I was looking at, like CDs or something like that. And this guy was like, he was like an older dude. He had like a fedora, you know, of course he did, right? And he was like kind of standing next to me, and I remember being like, what does this guy want? You know, it was like kind of weird. And he like kind of kept inching closer to me, and I was like, this is kind of strange, right? And then he goes like, hey, he like starts a conversation with me. I don't remember exactly how we get to where we got to talking about food, but he's like, hey, I just wanted to tell you about a diet. And I was like, what are you talking about, right? And he says, I think that, like, he's like, I've heard a diet that boxers do. And he's like, what they do is they only eat meat, right? And they eat as much meat as they want. But while they're eating the meat, they chew it until they get all the flavor they want, and then they spit it out. And I was just like, it was, I was like, are you kidding me? That's like an eating disorder, bro. Like, don't tell me to do that.
Result of actual illnesses such as hyperthyroidism or Cushing's disease, or even some cancer treatments that cause you to gain weight. The bulk of overweight and fat people look the way they do as a result of bad diet, bad choices, and bad lifestyle choices. The other side of this that people don't seem to realize is that when you are a skinny person who's eating a hamburger, people feel a need to like high-five you for getting some nutrition in you, because they assume that you just don't eat.
I would say it probably happens to people that are trying to I would say it probably happens to people that are trying to lose weight more than it happens to skinnier people. But again, it's all about, like, it's just people being jerks. And people will be jerks if you are overweight or if you're underweight or if you're normal weight or whatever, right? Like, people are just jerks.
Yes, that's thin privilege for ya.
Going to the doctors, are you able to go and be seen and diagnose what is actually wrong with you, or is the appointment turned into a weigh-in session?
Now, this is a great point. Now, so this is something that a lot of people that are overweight and that are bigger have to deal with a lot when you go to the doctors. And I would say in the past few years, this has actually gotten a lot better, with doctors looking past just weight. And like, this is something my friend Spencer Nadolski, Dr. Nadolski on Instagram has talked a lot about, is with doctors. You know, obviously I think it's important to bring up weight if someone is really, really overweight, but to not just focus on that, right? If there's something going on, don't just be like, lose weight and you'll be fine, because I don't think that's fair at all. But I do think it's a genuine point that for a long time, and hopefully this changes soon, and it starts changing, I think it has started changing, is that, like, we are not just telling people lose weight and everything will be fine. So I think that's a fair, criticism, you know?
Does this actually happen where you go to the doctor and they're like, get on the scale?
Yes, it does. 100%. It absolutely happens.
To be honest, I actually avoid going to the doctors now, just because I don't feel like I'm taken seriously. Just because someone's smaller, just in the same way as someone's bigger, there's no way that you could diagnose someone's health just by looking at them.
If you're going to the doctor, just by the way, and your doctor isn't taking seriously the reason that you went to the doctor in the first place, you probably need a new doctor.
I mean, it's not that simple, though. Like, a lot of people don't have another doctor they can go to, and I think that it should be up to the the doctor should not just be looking at your health. Like, it shouldn't just be like, oh, it's your health, it's your size, you need to lose weight, there you go. But I do think, like she said at one point, doctors can't look at you and determine if you're healthy or not. I would say, as I always say whenever we talk about this topic, right, for the vast majority of people, if you're talking about in the middle, yeah, you can't tell, but just by looking at them. But if someone is massively underweight, very, very skinny, like skin and bones, yeah, you could probably say, hey, you're probably not healthy, like, let's work on some stuff. And the same thing for someone that is really, really big, it's probably, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea, we need to work on this. But again, if there's other issues, you can say, we can work on this, but what else are you going through? How else can I help you?
Then again, the NHS in the United Kingdom is pretty terrible, so...
Everything looked good. Your face is close to my face.
To be fair, yes, no one can definitively diagnose you just by looking at you. I acknowledge that. If we could probably get a lot of liberals into psychiatric care. However, it's pretty common knowledge that if you are overweight...
So I'm assuming that this girl is like a political YouTuber because she's brought up a lot of, like, random political things. I didn't know that.
You will be more at risk of particular serious health problems than someone who is thinner. You will run the risk of having type 2 diabetes, liver issues, heart issues, kidney issues, and so on and so forth. Just to throw this in there as well, 87% of people who have type 2 diabetes are overweight or obese.
Now, see, there is genuine arguments, right? Like, there are genuine arguments as to why it's probably not the best idea, obviously, to be super overweight. But when people spread that information the way that she's spreading it, I don't think there are many people that are going to hear this video and be like, oh, you know what? Sydney, whatever her name is, she's right. She is 100% right, and I need to lose weight because of what she said. Like, again, most of the arguments that she stated, I would agree with. But it's like, do you need to do it in a way that's making people feel stupid or bad? Like, I just don't think it's necessary.
What fun. All that thin privilege just protects me from having serious disease. So yeah, it's not a thin privilege thing, it's that people get a pretty fair idea of the health issues that you might potentially have based on looking at you. They're just more obvious than with a skinny person. I'm obviously a doctor, and them's the facts.
You wouldn't go up to a thin person or comment on pictures listing off all the health problems that they may or may not have. Yet again, another privilege. So I can put a picture up on Instagram and I'm listed with everything that's wrong with me. Of course, none of it is true because nothing's wrong with me.
Girl, I am willing to bet you have at least one undiagnosed health problem.
Why do you even need to say that?
Whatever. I'm getting cheese fries.
I genuinely believe this whole concept too is complete rubbish because since the whole body shaming, body positivity thing came out, women are pretty supportive of each other on the internet. If anything, it's the skinny girls who get told to eat more and get called anorexic.
It's just not true, right? Like, everyone gets made fun of all the time. I don't think that, just like Squad W, right? All the girls are just all happy with each other and they're all super nice. Like, I think girls are mean to each other, guys are mean to each other. It's just how it is. I don't know.
This attitude is why women like Tess Holliday, who very clearly is severely overweight, is now considered a model and a role model.
Before you roll your eyes at the idea of thin privilege, just try putting yourself in someone else's shoes and just looking at it from their point of view, how it could affect them or how it could make them feel. I'm not having to go at thin people at all, but just simply acknowledging there is the privilege that society has unfortunately put on people who are thinner. Just to combat it, just acknowledge it, be accepting of anybody of any size, and don't fall into what society and the media are trying to tell us that are right or wrong. There are bigger people in the world, there are smaller people in the world, celebrating everybody's differences. Everybody being kind to one another regardless of your size.
I mean, like, maybe, but also probably nope. Okay, so being accepting of any size is the problem. Because in my opinion, it excuses the people who continue to self-harm in the way of overeating. Yes, there are, of course, a bunch of different body types. In fact, the whole fashion industry is very poorly built around them. But if we're honest, let's look at women like J-Lo or Beyonce, who are what you would describe as curvy, but it's also very, very clear that they're fit women who actually look after themselves. That is what I would describe as thick or curvy. People who actually have curves. These women make gazillions of dollars and have cult followings. Do they have curvy girl privilege?
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
So the next time someone uses the term thin privilege, and let me just translate that, what thin privilege actually means is, I hate myself and the way that I look, so let me just excuse my corrosive behavior by saying that I have it harder. But anyway, let's put that aside for a second. Next time someone uses this term, let me just remind you of the very fun statistics that relate to obesity in the world. Worldwide obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. In 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults 18 years or older were overweight. Of these, over 650 million were obese. 39% of adults aged 18 and over were overweight in 2016.
Sorry, I just wanted to get over.
Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than underweight. 41 million children under the age of 5 were overweight or obese in 2016. Over 340 million children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 were overweight or obese in 2016. Obesity is preventable. So I guess that I get really mad when people use terms like thin privilege or suggest that people who are skinny and healthy haven't had to ever undergo anything difficult because the way that they look means that they're treated a particular way. My life might be observationally easier because I actually take the time and make the choices to eat better, go to the gym, make choices that relate to my actual health so I don't put myself at risk.
I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you're so stupid.
I hate these body
All-carb
positivity
diet.
movements, not because they encourage people to feel comfortable in their skin, but because they coin these stupid terms and then excuse corrosive bad behavior and blame it on everyone else. It's not cool. I'll say from experience that I have definitely been called a lot of choice names based on the way that I look, because I am what you would call pretty skinny, and I have had people throw food at me, tell me to eat cheeseburgers, and that sort of stuff is equally as insulting and nasty as just going up to someone and calling them fat and then slapping the cheeseburger out of their mouth. I think objectively it's way easier to sit here and be like, and easier because they're thin, but the reality is that you just don't know how hard anyone else has it. There is nothing privileged about actually taking care of your body. As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so, just don't be rude.
So, it's weird because, like, a lot of the stuff that she said, I guess I would agree with the philosophy behind it, but it's frustrating when people, they talk about these problems, right? This girl talks about this problem, and I think let's see what else she has on her channel.
Time for a serious chat.
Okay, so yeah, that's what that makes sense. So she has like a lot of political stuff. So she has white people bad, I'm conservative and I've had enough, how the medical industry is profiting off transgender. So she's like a conservative YouTuber, I guess. I've never seen a video of hers, but it's frustrating because it's like she sets out all of these problems that she has with these people, but it doesn't seem like she genuinely like cares. And that's where my problem is like I genuinely care, and I've been there, and I understand that there are a lot of people that are, don't feel bad, Bronwyn, like you didn't know if that she you didn't know that, like, and I don't know, it was an interesting video to react to. Like I don't have to like sit here and cheer on the whole video. I think it's more fun if I disagree with like the stuff that's going on. So don't feel bad. I appreciate that you put it up there. It was a good video. I think that was interesting. But so it's the thing that frustrates me when people like make these types of videos is like it doesn't seem like she genuinely like cares about helping people. Like she just wants to say, oh, the fact that you're mad is stupid and it's dumb that you're upset about it, right? And I think that's where like that's why I'm just like, it doesn't seem like you actually care. You just want to be mad about this person saying that they have privilege or something like that, right? And so I don't know, I get frustrated when I see that, just because it's like I genuinely am in the trenches like every day trying to help, and I really want to get my message out there, and I know my message gets poisoned by people that are like this, that don't really care and that are just looking to make a good video, right? Looking to make a funny video, looking to like dunk on fat people, right? Just to make some money and make people laugh. And like that's not what I try and do. And I know a lot of people get mad at me and they're like, "Oh, you're always like so nice." You're always so nice and you're never like mad and you're never mean enough. And it's like, well, that's not why I do this. Like I'm not doing this because I want to be mean. Like I've talked about it before, like in my thumbnails and like a lot of my titles, it might seem like I'm being sensational and like being like a clickbaity, but it's like I want to get people to click on the video so they can actually hear the message that I have, right? And so I don't know, that's just because she is a jerk in other areas, but some parts can still be okay. We need conversations with people we don't agree with. Yeah, I agree, but she is right in some things. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that that she is completely wrong. Like I said, I agree with a lot of the stuff that she said. It's just the way that she said things. But yeah. Hey, John, what are some safe exercises for a 300 plus person? I'm assuming you mean 300 pound plus person. I would say start out with walking. It really depends on like where your mobility is, but I would say start out with walking. And then if you want to go to the gym or you're able to go to the gym, like go on an elliptical, maybe on like a recumbent bike or a bike that you can just sit on and pedal. And then if you want to start lifting, obviously that's not a bad idea. I would recommend either watching a lot of videos or like hiring a personal trainer to help you with form and stuff like that. But yeah, so I would just start slow and build up over time. I like hearing opposing points of view. Yeah, me too. 100%. What if they are 300 years old, John? You're being age phobic. Stupid. Is it just me, or did it feel like she didn't react to the last part of the video and she just brought up being curvy again? Yeah, I don't know. Harry Murphy, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. What do you think about Katie Hopkins? She made herself overweight to prove she could lose weight. I've never heard of her. I can look her up, though. Let's see. Katie Hopkins. Does she have a YouTube channel? Katie, let's see, Katie Hopkins weight gain, maybe? Oh boy, she's the worst. Oh, is she bad? It's hard because a lot of these are from like TV shows, and if I ever show a TV show clip on, looks like my battery's about to die. If I ever show a TV show clip on stream, I get shut down. But no, I don't know anything about Katie Hopkins. 1 second, I'm gonna go change the battery real quick. Let me play some music for you guys to set the mood. Sorry about that. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know this, this lady. So I don't really know too much about her. I wonder if there's any, let's see. I'm going to look on Google if there's like an article we can read or something. So, Katie Hopkins, weight gain. Okay, here we go. Looks like there's an article here that we can read together. Yeah, so if it's like a video... okay, so let's read this together. So if it's like a video that was on TV, and I try to show it on a live stream, they will 100% like shut me down real quick. So I have to be careful what I show on stream. So, alright. So... let's read this together. Make sure you guys can actually see it. Okay. So British TV personality Katie Hopkins, known for her biting beliefs on obesity, put her words into action for a new TV special. Hopkins, 39, gained nearly 50 pounds, hoping to turn around and quickly lose it, all while being filmed. Hey, thanks R. Marsh for joining the Chungus chat. I don't know what to call it. The Chungus chat? Is that what we should call it? The Chungus chat. I like that. So the reason I'm losing the weight is to prove how simple it is to lose weight. If you really want to, and the only way... how simple it is to lose weight if you really want to. And the only way I can do it is by becoming fat myself, Hopkins said on the TLC special. I really believe that fat people's solution is in their hands, she says. They don't need to put so much into their face. Okay, so like... with this, it's like she's banned on Twitter. Wow. The thing with this is like it's so different. If you are someone that has been, regular size, not overweight, whatever words you want to use for most of your life, and you are like, now I'm going to put on some weight and then lose it. Like, it is a completely different experience than if you are someone that has been overweight your entire life, or you gained weight just out of, something happened and you started gaining weight. You got out of high school and you weren't as active, or whatever it was. You got injured or something like that and you started gaining weight. Because for a lot of people, your weight, it feels like something you can't control. And so if like her, Katie, like she is deciding to gain weight. So she is deciding to put this weight off. So she knows that it was her choice to gain it. And so in her head, it's much easier to make the decision to lose it and do the things that it requires to lose the weight. because she has decided to do those things, right? Like when you feel in control, it's much easier to do hard things. But when you feel out of control, that's why it's so hard to do hard things when it comes to losing weight, because you feel like you can't control the weight loss. You can't control it. So at least that's my opinion. That's why I think it is much harder for people that are trying to lose weight. Okay, so Hopkins, a mother of 3, gained the weight by eating over 6,000 calories per day, despite the doctor telling her on the show that her weight fluctuation is not a good idea. During the show's filming, Hopkins also traveled to the U.S. to meet people fighting obesity who struggle to see eye to eye with her opinions on weight. I look at you and I think you're a wreck of a human being. Jesus. Hopkins tells one overweight woman, who is later seen on camera calling on her cell phone to report a hate crime. Well, I wouldn't really call that a hate crime, but okay. American author, TV personality, and transformation pro Chris Powell says that Hopkins' weight experiments discounts too much. Chris Powell is one of the people that's on extreme. I think he's on extreme weight loss extreme weight loss. I actually really like a lot of his takes, and I feel like he's a pretty smart guy. But he says she's focused too much on the physical aspect of weight loss, and she's totally ignoring the psychological and emotional component of it. Powell, the host of ABC's Extreme Weight Loss, says, well, we sound very similar there. Hopkins' journey to gain and lose the weight took 6 months and was something that even Hopkins concedes was not as easy as she had hoped. It actually turned out to be a real ordeal, she says on the show. I understand when you are fat, you don't want to put on your trainers and go out running out the door because you think people will laugh at you. I can see how that is. I know how hard it is to be fat and carry that weight around, and no one wants to be fat by choice, she says. It's about the amount that you put in and how you burn it off. I don't think it has to be quite as intimidating. The 2-part special, Fat and Back, air Sunday, blah, blah, blah. So like I said, I think that for the most part, it's the biggest thing. It's not just like losing the weight, like especially if you have decided to gain the weight. I think that's the big thing that a lot of people are missing is like she decided to gain the weight. So I don't like, I can't imagine, like, so if I were to put myself, so if she's really trying to help people, like she says she's trying to help people, right? And I'm trying to think of the person that might see this and be like, okay, I'm inspired by this or whatever, right? Like, I can't imagine someone that is overweight looking at that, seeing someone that isn't overweight decide to gain weight and then lose it. Like, that wouldn't inspire me. Like, that would just make me, like, upset or annoyed or just, like, bothered. Like, I wouldn't feel, like, some sense of, like, oh, wow, like, oh, my gosh, it's so great that she did this. She totally understands me. I would just feel like, oh, she is just, like, being patronizing and she is trying to, like, make me feel worse about my situation. And so, like, she's trying to sit there and be like, oh, I can do it, too. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel, at least about that. Is it bad that I'm glad losing the weight ended up being hard for her after all her bravado? No, I would say that that's a pretty normal thing for people to expect. He made a video about that. Doubt she helped really anyone. Not the way she talked about overweight people. Vance's incredible 360 transformation will blow you away. Let's watch that to get some motivation, guys and girls, or just check it out on y'all's own might. I don't know what that's about. You couldn't pay me enough to gain weight. John, if you see this, the Katie Hopkins video is called Too Fat to Work this morning. There's no copyright issue. Hopkins made some good points, though, Jean. My name's not Jean. Showing how easy it is to lose weight for her says nothing how hard it is. Yeah, it's like, just because it's easy for you, especially if you're someone that is especially someone that is like, I don't know, like that just doesn't like really inspire me, and it never did when I was bigger. Like seeing someone that like gained weight and then like, I don't know. Hello, sorry, just shouted out a video. I like my bad. Oh, okay, I understand. I understand what you were doing there. It's the fat to fit to, yeah, it's the fit to fat to fit to fat to fit situation that guy did. Yeah, I remember I watched that. I remember I made a video about that whole thing. You might be interested in the part where she debates several overweight women. She is quite aggressive. If you want to link the video, I'll try and see if I can watch it on stream, because I think that could be interesting. Mr. Beast, do you know of any unsweetened protein powder supplements? Not that I know off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a ton that you can find. Bum, bum, bum. What's up, Lenny? Do do. Aaron asked, "Hey, is it safe for me to be on a 1,000 calorie deficit? I try to eat all my essential vitamins and stuff, but just making sure I'm doing a good thing." So that really depends on like your size and how large you are, because if someone is 200 pounds, being in a 1,000 calorie deficit is way too much for the most part. But if you are 500 pounds, then I would say being in a 1,000 calorie deficit is probably really not that big of a deal, because you can still eat so much food and lose weight. So it's hard to just give you an answer to that, because everyone is so different on that one. Favorites. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Or woman. Did you ever go to therapy for your weight loss / eating issues? No, I never went to any sort of therapy or anything like that. I can see it being a good thing, and I know that it helps a lot of people, but I personally never went to one. I'm 304 this morning. I would say that 1,000 might be a little aggressive, but it just depends. John, can you acknowledge she makes good points? I mean, the thing is like people can make good points. Like the last video we watched with Sydney, like she made a lot of good points, but that just because someone makes good points doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything that they do. Like she didn't really even make that many points. Like she says she wants to show people that losing weight isn't that hard. So like I don't know. It just depends. Like she made good points, but like there's a lot of people that make good points that I still disagree with. I want to watch that video that person was talking about. Can anyone in the Discord find it for me? Let's see. It says, John, can you see too fat to work this morning? Let's see. Maybe I'll try and find it. The link is in Discord. Oh, okay, perfect. You guys are the best. Okay. Let's see here.
Welcome back. Recent government figures have revealed that more...
Oh, this is old, man. This is from 2013. All right, we'll still watch it, though. Also, I'm just saying, we're at 19 new members. Is there anyone else that wants to join so we can hit 20? I'm just saying, if you want to join, I would appreciate it. All right. This video is not super long. It's only 10 minutes long.
this benefit as they are declared too fat to work and cost the taxpayer more than $28 million in benefit payments last year alone.
Well, with us now is mum of one, Jay Cole, who weighs 22 stone. She's fit to work and claims she's desperate for a job. But employers won't hire her because she says she's overweight. She says company bosses are fattest and argues that she shouldn't have to lose weight to get a job.
Then there's businesswoman Katie Hopkins.
She
who
looks
admits
so
as an
uncomfortable. I feel bad for her.
employer, she would never hire someone.
Oh, thank you so much. Saneed says, I followed you for years. Such an inspiration. Love you, John, from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Because they are lazy and lack ambition. So there could be fireworks here. And welcome to both of you. Jay, let's start off with you first of all. Now, you have had a job, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had
You had a job which you did, it was a 6 hours a week job, and you did that for a year.
Yeah.
So you have been employed.
I have.
Were you the same size then?
Yeah, I was the same size then.
Same size then.
Yep.
So you were employable at that stage.
Yeah.
Why did that job come to an end?
Because I had a dispute about like timekeeping. And they tried to say that I was late, and to me I wasn't late, and
Right.
it just seemed like they wanted to push me out because I was there when the other dinner ladies were there, and they never.
I love British accents, but man, sometimes they are very hard to understand.
There's anything to them, or they never got pulled in,
and
I did. And like one instant at there, my little girl was poorly, and I phoned up and said I can't come into work today because my little girl's poorly. I've got no one to look after.
All
her.
right, we hit 20,
and
baby.
They accused me of being in KFC, which I wasn't.
Let's
They
go.
apparently
1 second.
someone
Gee,
saw
come
me in
on, pause. What the heck? Thank you so much, Alexa, for joining. I appreciate it. Woo!
See.
So what sort of jobs have you gone for after that?
I've gone for everything. I've done cleaning, retail, nursery nurse, teaching assistants. I've tried everything.
So you say that you have gone for job interviews and you can see it in their eyes that
Yeah,
you're not going to
it's
get the
like
job.
you walk into.
Don't worry, some are even hard to understand, even for us Brits as well. It's funny, like, so when I was in the UK, I felt like I felt like you would drive like an hour and the people's like accent would completely change just in like an hour. Like, it was crazy.
Room, and you just see their expressions. They don't expect to see what they see on the paper. You walking into a room, you can see they're just like, oh, you just see
Like
it.
a disappointment.
Yeah, you can see it automatically.
Because you are, I mean, you're qualified, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've got qualifications.
I've got qualifications. I've got all my GCSEs. I've got a level 2 diploma. I stayed at school till I was 19.
And at the moment, you are on benefits at the moment. You look after your child.
I'm
but while
doing,
you're doing that, you're doing an open university course.
to be a teacher.
You want to work.
Yeah, I want to work. This isn't like I don't want to be on benefits. I've been on benefits since I was 18, and it's not something I want to be on. It's not something that I would be proud of.
This is we have to ask questions for everybody here. So this is you know, be very careful what you say because people do get terribly upset when you ask questions like this. But I'm about to say, if you go to all that work to get your qualifications, you want to go to the job interviews, what prevents you from thinking, do you know what, obviously being this size is affecting my chance of getting a job, I'll lose weight?
But why should I have to change who I am? You shouldn't. To have a job, it is about qualifications. That's why you do that. You don't go for a job interview because you look a certain way.
Okay, well, like, for the most part, I'm pretty much agreeing with what she's saying, but I think that if the jobs require you to be at all physical and, like, your size is preventing you from being able to do that, I think it might be a good idea to try and work on that if you want to find a job in that field, right? A lot of it was like healthcare work and stuff like that.
If you looked a certain way, there would be so many. The world would be boring. Everyone is who they are, so you're meant to look.
What do you think they're thinking? Like, what do you think an employer is thinking? Why do you think that they don't?
They think fat people are lazy. They're not capable. They're inactive, and they can't do what a normal-sized person, what is a normal-sized person meant to be, can do.
So, Katie, let's come to you because that's pretty much that's you there. She's just described what you say.
Yes, I think that's fair. I think, you know, if you look at somebody that is your size, I think your immediate reaction, and it is those perceptions, those first reactions that do matter, no matter what we say, the reaction you get is, would I want to put someone in front of a client that looks like this? Would I want them to think, you know, do they look dynamic? Do they look disciplined? Do they look highly efficient? Well, no, you know, speaking frankly. And therefore, Jay wouldn't be someone that I would employ. And we have to recognise there's lots of other people queuing up behind her for that job, so I have a lot of other choices.
Why would you say no to me because of the way I look, my size? Because I come across, to me, I think I come across well-spoken, well-mannered. I have the qualifications on the...
That's a great comment, Jessica. So she said, why should I change who I am instead of saying, why should I have to change myself? Which tells me her identity is wrapped around her size. I think that's like a really common thing that happens. Like when you are, I know for me, like my size became my identity, right? Like I was the funny fat guy. Like that's who I was. And so I remember like thinking, if someone wants me to change, like they just obviously don't accept me, kind of thing. And so I think that's kind of the argument that she's making here.
Just because I walk in and I'm 10 size dress bigger than, say, you, and you think, no, she's not having the job, because that is why I am here today, because that is proven there is such thing as fatism.
Because I would look at you and I would think, well, I can choose from 20, 30, 200 other people.
That's like, if you
but also, I would look at you and I would think, as a small business as we are, you know, there is potential for there to be sickness-related issues to do with being overweight.
I did have a day off sick due to myself at work.
But that is a fact. We lost 16.8 billion last year for sickness,
and that
would worry me.
If you worked for me and come into my employment, I'd be like, I don't want to hire you because I don't like the look of you. You'd probably then try and sue me or along them lines.
I would say to you, I'd say, you know this is an issue. You know people have this opinion, which you admit.
Yeah, I know.
And so why don't you think, well, you know, if I am going to compete, if I am going to get myself off benefits, which I really want to,
but
why
you wouldn't
don't
ask someone
change?
of a different colour to change their colour to get a job, because there is such thing as fatism and there is such thing as disability. So you wouldn't ask someone that's got a disability, oh, you've got to not be disabled.
I think maybe
can't
people
get that job.
just say that people would perhaps
but this is your
say
choice.
that you...
Yeah, so like that's the argument that you always end up hearing is like, well, you wouldn't ask someone to change the color of their skin, or you wouldn't ask someone to change their disability. But again, I think where I'm not sitting here saying that losing weight is easy and that it's just like you snap your fingers and all of a sudden all your weight has lost and you're all good to go. Like obviously it's not that easy, but it's I believe it's a little disingenuous to equate the weight that you are to the color of someone's skin, or to the fact that someone might have a genuine disability where, you know, they were born with a defect or something like that, to where they can't walk or they can't whatever, right? Like I don't think that it is fair to compare those two, and I would be very careful comparing those two, because there are a lot of people that could be very offended by doing that.
If you have no reason to, no ability to change your colour.
Yeah, no.
And you have no ability to change your disability.
Yeah, but then some people that are overweight, like me, I have polycystic ovaries and I have a slow thyroid problem, so it is difficult for me to lose weight. So it's not something you can just do.
But I do find, if I may, yeah, but I do find that it's always someone else's problem. It's always the job centre's problem. You've applied, you said...
Actually, she doesn't have a problem with that. It's everyone else.
We're talking about this application for jobs as if she's been hugely diligent in this. She's applied for 12 jobs in 5 years.
No, I haven't applied for 12
That's what your article says.
No, the article said that I have been to 12 interviews in 5 years.
OK, well, that's hardly,
but I've applied for so many
jobs.
But the thing is, where there is so many people going for jobs at the moment, that I am not getting the interviews.
But they can't see you when they look
when
at the application.
I do go for the interviews, you can see by their face they're disappointed.
Yes, and that's fair. So if you know that, why not change?
We're all talking at the same time here. Let's hang on a second.